Wants to bring back pitch for Featherstone Rovers.
Hello and welcome to Craven Park for this Northern Ford Premiership clash between Hulkingston Rovers and Featherstone Rovers. We're now at the stage of the season where every win is crucial with regards to the finishing position in the end of season playoffs. This is the proverbial 4-pointer with both sides looking likely to finish in the top 5 and get the easier running in the playoffs.
Not the one and only Hulkingston Rovers.
Here come the Robins. Coach Gary Wilkinson making 1 or 2 changes to the Robins lineup today. We have a half-back pairing of Mark Kane and Dane Doré. Alistair McLaren unfortunately injured, so Godfrey moves across to the left wing with Nick Pinkney playing on the right wing. Jamie Boville is another casualty, and his place in the front row is filled by Richard Wilson. And there's a place on the bench for new loan signing Martin Wood, who up until recently was coach of Northern Ford Premiership rivals Workington Town. I'm joined today by my good friend Simon Osler. Simon, your thoughts on today's clash?
Yeah, well, it's looking like a tough match today. Rovers offers obviously coming back after a big stuffing against Huddersfield, which I suppose a lot of sides have got this year. So it's nothing really. That's a one-off. So I think we played Featherstone 4 times this year, beaten them 3 times and lost to them once in a 44-40 scoreline. So hopefully if we see a few trials like we did that match, but a bit better defence, then it should be good. I mean, the obvious inclusion of Martin Wood into the Rovers lineup could be the thing we've just been looking for. Been looking for that midfield general that's been sadly missing. So I'm hoping to let him on early and let him have a go at him. But because he certainly did quite a few tricks for Working and Keithley.
Yeah, players to watch out for in the Featherstone side. Hooker Richard Chapman, who always seems to raise his game against Hulkingston Rovers. We have Richard Agar, vastly experienced standoff, who was once linked with a move to Craven Park. In the backs, Jamie Stokes, the right winger, has a fair bit of pace, and there's a decent back three of Steve Ducker, Neil Lone, Danny Seal. It's going to be Rovers to kick off, and Dane Doré gets the game underway. Bouncing balls collected by the Featherstone Rovers player, who was immediately met by a 3-man reception committee of Hulkingston Rovers. Andy Smith, good to see Andy Smith finding his feet back in the side again after 1 or 2 injuries. The ball's moved right by Chapman. That's good defence once again by Rovers. 3-man tackle. Today's referee is Mr. Steve Nicholson. Hopefully he'll make it a good expansive game by keeping the sides apart. The ball's 10 metres from the halfway line. The kick comes in. Looks as though it was Jamie Rooney. The ball's bobbling about. Bobby Everett stops it with his feet, collects and runs into the Featherstone defence. Steve Ducker, that's good defence by Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone wearing their traditional kit, Simon, the one that they wore in the early 80s when they famously beat some team in the Challenge Cup final. Was it 1983?
Yeah, I believe it was 1983. Beat Featherstone with a Steve Quinn goal in the last minute. Yeah, it's a good team in that old kit, isn't it? It'd be nice to see Rovers come back to their old kit next year as well.
Well, if rumours are to be true, I believe that's on the cards. Anyhow, on with the game, and that's collected by Matt Bramall, the former Dewsbury Rams player. He runs across the line of the Rovers defence and is met by a big hit by Matty Schultz of the Robins. That's Nathan Graham, another vastly experienced player, played Super League for the Bradford Bulls, but they're not making much ground against this Robins defence at the moment. Big Richie Ayres in with the tackle. At the moment, Simon, it looks as though Featherstone are content to play 1-man rugby.
Yeah, they did a lot of damage against us in the Challenge Cup match by running it wide with the big forwards going wide. But anyway, here we go with Bobby Everett to run it in. He's taking it up. Not making a great deal of yards, but keeping it safe. And Dixon out to McLaren's coming into the line, passing out. Rovers looking to keep the ball alive today.
Yeah, referee Nicholson so far keeping a good 10. Dixon moves the ball to Doré. Doré and 10 to Andy Smith. Andy Smith draws in the tacklers. Brought down to earth by the Featherstone prop forward Stuart Dickens. It's an early kick from Rovers. It's turned Matt Bramald round. It's a lucky bounce for Matt Bramald. He spins the ball across to Nathan Graham. Fetul Tyra's got Nathan Graham in his sights, and Fetul Tyra completes the tackle, aided and abetted by Alex Godfrey. Here comes Jamie Stokes now for the Featherstone Rovers. One or two made the trip along the M62 from Featherstone, which is nice to see. Usually do bring a good following to Craven Park to the Featherstone fans. Stuart Dickens now, he runs the ball in. There's a knock on there by Stuart Dickens, and it was a good defence by the Rovers. Young John Wilkin putting his shoulder in and forcing the error right on the halfway line, and that's good defence by the Robins. The first forced error of the game, and it's going to be head and feet to Rovers at the scrum. This is where we'll be looking to see Kane and Doré with a bit of invention, and when you've got a player like Martin Wood on the bench, they're going to have to perform to the top of the form. Doré to Kane. Kane brings in Bobby Everett into the line. One or two afters there between Danny Seal and Matt Kane. One or two words exchanged. Here's Richie Hayes. That's a good break by Richie Hayes. Back by the scruff of his neck by Neil Lowe. The ball's moved across by the Robins now. Kane into the line. Kane's made an half a break. Oh, and unfortunately, I think Jamie Rooney did the old professional bit there. I think he called for the ball. Kane flipped it up, and Rooney gratefully received. And if Rovers aren't concentrating, they're going to be in trouble here. Rooney was looking to take the quick tap, but Mr. Nicholson's stopped the play, and Rovers have managed to get back into a defensive line. But unfortunate there for the Robins. Kane making half a break, looked on his shoulder, and I'm sure a call came in from Rooney there, Simon.
Yeah, it was quick thinking, wasn't it, by Rooney? Yeah, sat behind him, saw he was looking for a pass, shouted the call and picked the ball up. This Rooney can certainly set this Featherstone team going as well. Good running by Dickens there, bringing it up to the line.
Yeah, it's first attack of the game from Featherstone. Chapman's moved the ball out, and luckily for Rovers, Chris Spare has dropped the ball in the process of going through a half gap.
I think both these centres of Featherstone have got to be watched. I know that Newlove put a lot of effort in against Rovers in the previous two away matches, and he's obviously the brother of the famous Paul Newlove, but very much in his shadow.
Rovers win the ball at the scrum. Alex Godfrey's coming from his wing, but that is met by a solid tackle there. And it was Richard Newlove, the man we've just been mentioning. Two-man tackle by Featherstone Rovers. Rovers only 18 metres or so from their own try line. Dixon moves the ball to Richard Wilson, but referee Nicholson, that's a penalty to Hull Kingston Rovers. Featherstone offside at the play of the ball, and gratefully the Robins have pumped it into touch, and we're 10 metres inside the Featherstone half. Quick play of the ball by Mike Dixon onto Richard Wilson. Here's Andy Smith now. His knee heavily strapped, probably in after effects of the injury suffered early in the season. Here's Doré now. Doré brings in Wilkin. Bit telegraphed was that pass, unfortunately, to Kane. The Featherstone defence was ready for Kane. Little dink over by John Wilkin, but unfortunately just put a bit too much lever to the ball there, and it sailed harmlessly into touch. Early exchanges, Simon. We've been on 6.5 minutes now, and there's not a lot really happened.
It's a classic case of what Rovers have suffered from all year with the they just can't break a tackle. They put people into gaps and they can't break the man that's tackling them. Wilkins is adding a bit of invention, Kane is, but they just haven't got much support at the moment.
Featherstone claimed the ball from the scrum, and full-back Nathan Graham has joined the line, and Chapman from the play of the ball. On to Danny Seal, loose forward. Always seems to have a good game against the Robins. And that looked to be a forward pass there, but Stuart Dickens, he just plays the ball. Referee Nicholson not interested. Rooney brings in second row, Steve Ducker there. Looks as though Featherstone look to get the ball wide at most opportunities. Oh, and that's a bad mistake by Richard Chapman. And I think there was a bit of afters there between Chapman and, is it Mark Kane? There was a bit of an handoff into the face of Kane there. Maybe poked him in the eye perhaps. Whether or not it was intentional, maybe. A bit of frustration at dropping the ball. What do you think, Simon?
Well, I think they both give each other a smack then, didn't they? But it looks like Kane come off worse.
The water carriers come on. Referee Nicholson just not happy. He's not ready to start play yet. Now he waves play on. And Matthew Schultz takes the ball just over the halfway line. Rovers having a lot of possession in these opening exchanges. Dane Doré taking on the Featherstone defence. Dane Doré probably had his best game in a Rovers share in the league game at Featherstone, Simon, early in the season.
He had a very much, I'd say, looked like a superstar that match, didn't he? Making kicks, making breaks a lot. Just hasn't quite performed that since then, has he?
No, but I know for a fact that his dad John's watching today's game, so he'll be looking to impress that Rovers legend, which is John Doré. Play goes on now. It's going to be a penalty to Rovers on the 30-metre mark. Holding down at the play of the ball by Stuart Dickens, and there's an opportunity for Dane Doré to open the scoring. It's bang smack in front of the post, so a kicker of Dane's quality shouldn't represent too many problems. It's nice to see that Chris Charles is on the bench today. Whether or not he'd be able to take goal kicks after his recent injury problems is debatable.
I was just going to say, we've got Martin Wood, Chris Charles, David Luckwell and Paul Fletcher all warming up behind the post, so we might see the early inclusion of one of these.
Just approaching 10 minutes of play now, and it's Dane Doré. Bit of the professionalism once again coming in from Featherstone. There was all moving about then as Dane struck the ball, but it sailed in between the posts, and that's the opening points of the game to Hulkingston Rovers. It's Hulkingston Rovers 2, Featherstone Rovers 0. Play was restarted by Jamie Rooney. Matt Kane semi-stopped the ball with his feet, and Nick Pinkney comes in off the wing. Chance now for Rovers to get the big forwards running, try and break one or two of these Featherstone tackles. Dixon plays the blind side to Richie Hayes. Richie Hayes, well, he brought Alex Godfrey into play, but it was Fetto, but it didn't do him any favours then. Mark Kane now trying to link the play up. Matthew Schultz with another half break. Richard Newell struggling to bring him down along with Steve Ducker. Rooney was involved as well. Play goes on. Richie Hayes just over the halfway line. He's met by opposite number Stuart Dickens. Dixon to Doré. Doré under pressure. The ball's rebounded. That should be play on, and I think that'll be a scrum down. Sorry, it'll just be a handover. No, the referee's actually going to give the scrum head and feed Featherstone. Well, that's a surprising decision, that, Simon.
Yeah, he made an error, didn't he? It was 6 tackle, it should have just been play on. Andy Andover played the ball. Yeah, it was just a charge down.
Well, the decision's been and gone. Play goes on now. Rooney, he feeds Neil Lowe. Neil Lowe, a second row, standing out the scrum, which is an interesting tactic, but it's not really paid dividends on that occasion because he lost ground, did Neil Lowe. The ball's now with Steve Ducker. Looks to be a strong running second row forward. There's this Ducker. He takes the ball 10 metres inside the half of the Robins. And there's Ian Tonks now. Ian Tonks is offloaded to Nathan Graham. Nathan Graham, he takes the ball about 15 metres from the Robins line. And there's a chance now for Featherstone. The Rovers defence is going to have to be strong here. Oh, and there's a forward pass by Jamie Rooney. And Featherstone have absolutely bombed enterprising spell of play. There was in a dangerous position. Rovers was looking slightly stretched, but a forward pass, Simon, and uncharacteristic for a player of Rooney's talent.
Yeah, I think he actually gave a cross in there. Just ran behind the bloke before he passed it. Yeah, it was uncharacteristic, but I mean, I don't have to see a great match from this Rooney kid, do you, against Rovers? I don't know if he produced against some other sides.
Yeah, I think he always plays well at Post Office Road, but perhaps not so well away from home. I know that a deal to sign for Widnes fell through at the start of the Super League season, so obviously he's highly regarded in the game. But as it is, he's still a Northern Ford player, so maybe there is one or two doubts about him. Dane Dory now brings in Kane. Unfortunately for Andy Smith, he took the ball from a standing start, but nevertheless Rovers are in the Featherstone Rovers half. Here's Dixon now. Dixon onto Richard Wilson. He runs straight into Steve Ducker. And he's second row partner Neil Lowe. Dixon on to Kane. Kane jinks. Shows it on. Does an half break again from Kane. That's the second time. Kane and Dixon's run off for acting half. He's flipped the ball up. Nathan Graham collects it underneath his own sticks. Oh, and that's a good break from Nathan Graham. And it's slack defence by the Robins. Nathan Graham making a good 25 metres there when he shouldn't have been allowed to do so. And now the penalty's gone to Featherstone. Holding down at the play the ball from the Robins. This will take the pressure off Featherstone, Simon.
It was a great little break there from Nathan Graham, wasn't it? His heart must go in his mouth every time he sees an up and under after that Wembley debacle.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, but seeing as you did. Here come Featherstone Rovers now. It's pretty even Stevens this game so far here at Craven Park. 14 and a half minutes on the clock. Featherstone attacking down the right hand side with Neil Lowe, and there's a Rovers player down. It looks to be Dane Doherty, and the ball's gone loose from Richard Chapman again. And Richard Chapman, Simon's having an absolute nightmare. I built him up and he's shooting himself down in flames, thankfully.
It looks like we're giving the kiss of death, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, I said that all the 13 Hull players on Friday was brilliant. Dixon now. Kane's looking to be heavily involved in these early exchanges, which is good to see. Probably the player most at threat from the arrival of Martin Woods is Mark Kane. Richie Hayes now gets them legs pumping again. He bounced off Neil Lowe. It's a good charge from Richie Hayes. Dixon to Doré. Doré, he kicks the ball towards the corner flag, and it's a perfectly weighted kick. It's going to be a scrum down head and feed to Featherstone, but Rovers are where they want to be, and that's in the Featherstone Rovers danger zone. A couple of big hits here force the error, and we could be able to put a bit of pressure on the Featherstone Rovers line.
I think this is a tactic we've missed all year, and that's kicking deep, making sure it gets into touch, and then playing a good tackling game and waiting for a mistake. I think it's a great tactic to win some of these tough games.
Well, Richard Chapman's actually leaving the field for Featherstone Rovers, so whether he's come into the game with an injury doubt and it's they've took the gamble and not paid off, but it doesn't look happy, doesn't Richard Chapman, and he's been replaced by Paul Darley for Featherstone Rovers.
Paul Darley, because he's number 9, Richard Chapman.
Still the Robins 2, Featherstone 0. Stuart Dickens goes charging into a brick wall of Rovers defenders, Wilson and Smith. Oh, and that was a fortunate there by Ian Tonks. Only just collected that ball. Steve Ducker's at the acting half. He spins the ball to Rooney. Rooney going for the 40-20, but that's good covering by Alex Godfrey. And Alex Godfrey comes charging up. Met by a three-man Featherstone reception committee. Rooney, the kicker, was in there. Wilkins spins the ball out now. Linton Stott brings Nick Pinkney into play. Nick Pinkney's looking for the break. Nick Pinkney almost gets in through there. Danny Seal completes the tackle for Featherstone. Dixon onto Wilson. Wilson spins. bounces off one tackle. Paul Darley completes the tackle. It's just inside the Rovers half. Well, that was a bit telegraphed by Dane Dorey there. Brought Richie Hayes in on his inside. Richie Hayes not happy with one of the Featherstone players. 1 or 2 words exchanged there, and that's it's not often you see Richie Hayes lose his temper like that, Simon.
Never seen it, not in a Rovers shirt. Anyway, it's a good kick through here. Nathan Graham to pick it up, retain the ball with interest. Out to Bramall. That looks like a forward pass, and the referee's given it all on. Definite forward pass, and Featherstone very lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, sorry to shout in your ear, Simon, but that was a definite forward pass by the Featherstone player there. Oh, and the referee's penalised Rovers again. Featherstone took the quick tap. Oh, and Linton stopped going in with a shoulder. Mark Kane completed the tackle. Bramall, now former Dewsbury player, he brings the ball away. Richard Newland's at the acting half-back. On to Rooney. One player we've not seen a lot of, Simon, is there Richard Agar, the standoff.
No, he's been very quiet, hasn't he? He's just passing out there. It's a good ball out. Well wrapped up there. It's a good tackle coming in from Alex Godfrey. The ball out to Richard Agar again. Passing on to Dickens, who makes a good break.
Yeah, it's the 5th and last. Here come Featherstone again with Rooney. Spins the ball out there to Richard Newland. Forward shouts the crowd. It's been recollected by Featherstone. They was hoping for 6 again, but referee Nicholson says that it's a Rovers. Play the ball, so it's first tackle to Rovers, and Mark Kane brings the ball away. He's absolutely engulfed by Featherstone defenders there. 4-man Featherstone wrapping up Mark Kane, and I think the problem at the moment, Simon, is that our forwards are just not making any ground.
Yeah, they've got a big pack, haven't they? There's the likes of Ian Tonks, Dickens, Lowe. They're all good players, good tough players, and they just can't make any yards against it. As Richie is trying his hearts out, but he's not going to get anywhere. He needs to bring somebody on a bit of power, maybe running out a bit wider. The bloke's name's Luckwell, I think.
Yeah, the big Aussie Dave Luckwell. Been superb form all season for the Robins, and he's maybe just what we require at the moment. It's tough going out there for the likes of Richard Wilson and Richie Hayes, Andy Smith and Matt Schultz. John Wilkins, not really a power player, he's more guile and craft and enterprise. But obviously, while we're 2-0 up on the board and we've not been any serious trouble, I think Coach Gary Wilkinson may be happy just to let things go for the time being. And now it's another kick to touch from the Robins, pinning Featherstone back again in their own 25-metre area. The water carriers are on. It's quite warm and humid. Thankfully, not as hot as it's been for the last few days. Nathan Graham likes to join the line from the scrum down as Nathan Graham wraps up by Mark Kane. Seal feeds the ball out wide, but Fetul Taiwa defensively superb, along with probably the best tackler at the club in Andy Smith. Would you agree, Simon?
Yeah, he's a great tackler and he puts a lot of work in the match. He's worth having on the pitch just for that, really. Oh, a good pass out there for Featherstone.
Yeah, it was Neil Lowe managed to release the ball in the tackle, but they've somewhat wasted it of Featherstone because the ball's gone backwards and Nathan Graham's been met by 3 men from the Robins. Little Mike Dixon in there, the ball spun by Steve Ducker. Ian Tonks running in the ball, carrying the ball one-handed. Rovers could capitalise on that, bang the shoulder in. And Richard Agar, well, we said we've not seen a lot of him. If he's going to play like that, let's hope we see a bit more of him, because he's absolutely bombed that, and Rovers are in a definite chance of a try now, be able to put some pressure on the Featherstone line here. First tackle comes up with Richie Hayes. Crowd starting to get on the feet now. Rovers on the attack. Matt Schultz, come on you Reds, shout the crowd. Dixon's looking to Dorey. Dorey looks to have Kane running one side. He's got Bobby Everett running the other. Oh, and that's a high tackle. And Dane Dorey didn't like that. I think it was Dickens, the prop forward. He went high on Dane. Dane threw one in, but to be fair, Dickens didn't retaliate. Probably knew who was in the wrong.
There's no need for that, was there, Rob? Dane Dorrow was going nowhere, was he? A simple tackle, pull him down, but Dickens had to stick it in a bit, didn't he? Must have been thinking the prop catching an off half, thought he'd rough him up a bit, but he just given another 2 points away.
Yeah, totally agree, Simon. At the end of the day, it's going to be another 2 points for the Robins because we're bang smack in front of the posts, only 15, 16 metres or so out, and this should be an easy kick for Dane Doré, provided that his senses are with him after nearly having his head ripped off. The East Stand starting to find the voices now. It's Dane Doré, like most Aussies, likes to take his time over the goal kick. Once again, Featherstone players lifting their arms up, moving forward. But same result, another kick for Dane Doré, and it's 4-0 to Rovers. Hull Kingston Rovers 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. We've now got the introduction of Martin Wood. Martin Wood, he's coming on to make his debut for Hull Kingston Rovers. Dane Doré, not surprisingly, after that high tackle, just taking a breather. Probably give him a chance to calm down as well, because he can be quite fiery, can Dane Doré, Simon, can't he?
Yeah, he wears it out in his sleeve, doesn't he? When he gets fired up. Anyways, Richie is taking the ball in. And another swinging arm from Stuart Dickens. That one he managed to just keep down a bit. It's out to Richard Wilson. Richard Wilson doing a power drive, making another 5 yards. Taking his time getting up. It's out to Andy Smith. Andy Smith making another 5 yards. I think we really need to sort of see the ball in the hands of this Martin Wood now, but pushing it right. Out to John Wilkins, and a good sharp ball from John Wilkins, but well wrapped up Matt Schultz by Steve Ducker. And the pass out to Richie Ayres, and he makes another good 10 yards, powerful 10 yards. A powerful player this, and puts the work rate in for you. There's a kick now for Mark Kane. Over there to Nathan Graham, that's what I want to see, but just a little bit too strong. That's the sort of kicks I want to see. Hey Rob, just turn the full back and make them think about it.
Yeah, they've certainly put 1 or 2 kicks in today of Hull Kingston Rovers. Obviously a tactic coach, Gary Wilkinson's instructed them to do. Turn this Featherstone side round of 1 or 2 big players, get them back on the heels and hopefully wear them out a bit and running a few late tries. As it is now, it's Featherstone. They move the ball across through Danny Seal. Danny Seal, he's tackled there. Richie Ayres and Martin Wood there. This is Darley. Darley's running across the pitch sideways. Flings the ball out to Nathan Graham, and it was another panic ball from Featherstone. They've done 3 or 4 of them on occasions. Plays ball to Bramall to Rooney. He passes on to Dickens. There could be 1 or 2 tasty moments in this game with this Dickens. Play goes on, it's the 5th and last. That's a towering kick from Rooney. Oh, Bobby's dropped it, but fortunately it's gone backwards. And it's going to be a dropout. Yeah, I think Snow come down on that one, Simon.
Yeah, it was towering, it was swirling, wasn't it? Maybe shouldn't have dropped it, but he did. Anybody could have made that mistake. Lucky to go the right way, though. Could have been a try for Featherstone.
Play's going to be restarted by Matt Kane for the Robins. He kicks the ball. It's going to reach just about the halfway line where it's collected by Matt Bramall. Bramall's in centre field. Met by Andy Smith and Martin Wood. Well wrapped up there by the 2 Robins players, and Alex Godfrey lending a hand also. Apart from 1 or 2 perhaps half breaks, Featherstone not troubled Rovers so far. No, and there's a release ball though to Rooney, and you can't let Rooney run in open play. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty. Andy Smith, you'd already made the tackle, Andy Smith. There was no need to go in for seconds. And there's a chance now for Featherstone to perhaps post their first points of the game. Rooney, quite deadly place kicker. I can see him going for goal from this position.
Yeah, well, I've been impressed by Nathan Graham today and Ian Tonks in the Featherstone side. I think they're both having good games. Nathan Graham particularly has been put under a lot of pressure and has been given the ball in some awkward situations and has come out with each of them with colours flying.
Yeah, Nathan Graham, of course, vastly experienced player. Rooney's about 38 metres out. It's probably to the right-hand side of the post slightly. But you'd fancy his chances from here. I'd think a kicker of his quality. Chance for Featherstone now. That looks long and straight, and it is. 2 points for Featherstone. 27 minutes on the clock, and Featherstone have posted their first points of the game. Interesting down on the bench, Dave Luckwell, perhaps limbering up down there, Simon.
Yeah, looks like a good time to bring him on, really, doesn't it? 10 minutes before half-time. Do a bit of a power surge and maybe break the hearts of Featherstone. Get us over for a try.
Yeah, Dave Luckwell's definitely stripping off down on the bench. Players restarted. It was number 11, Steve Ducker for Featherstone. Rovers defence, they're looking eager in defence. Linton, Stott and Pinckney's good experience pairing across on the right-hand side. Here's that man Dickens again. For Featherstone Rovers, it's going to the first clash between Dickens and Luckwell's going to be a bit tasty. Oh, there's a possible 40-20, and the roar from the Featherstone fans over in the East Stand will tell you that that's the first 40-20 of the game, and Rovers are going to have to soak up a bit of pressure now as Luckwell comes on. Looks as though he's going to replace Richard Wilson.
It was a brave effort at stopping the ball going in there by Alex Godfrey, wasn't it? Skidding over the sand as he tried to stop it going in, but unfortunately just got in. It's a great kick though by the Featherstone player.
Yeah, I think from this scrum, I think we're going to have to keep an eye on Nathan Graham here, because if you look at him, he's joining the line, and I think Featherstone have got something up the sleeve here. As it is, the 10 metres from the Rovers line. It was Steve Ducker, the players moved right. Rovers are going to have to hang on in there for the time being to hold on to this 2-point lead. Agar, he moves the ball on to Dickens. Dickens met by Bobby Everett. The ball's with Rooney, he's got runners both sides. Steve Ducker met by the Robins defence. John Wilkin was in there. First tackle for Big Dave Luckwell. Danny Seal now, he moves the ball to Agar. Agar, well, that's poor play by Featherstone. It's the fifth and last. It's going to be Danny Seal from acting half. Once again the play goes for Rooney. Don't let him dummy, don't let him dummy. Well, he jinked. It looked as though the gap was going to open up, but Rovers managed to shut it as quickly as it had opened. And that's the first major challenge of the game, battered away by Rovers. Fetul Taiwe makes 2 or 3 metres. That's a better one by Alex Godfrey. He makes about 5 or 6 metres there. And referee Nicholson, not for the first time, pulling up the Featherstone players for offside. And great play from Mark Kane. Oh, and that's poor play by Alex Godfrey. But fortunately, the Featherstone player, in trying to make the interceptions, knocked on Neil Lowe. But bit of panic for football. Godfrey had no need to throw that ball out then, did he, Simon?
No, they're just trying to force the issue out. They maybe get a try. It was broken play on Featherstone's part. They were looking for a gap and maybe just one ball too many. Must have been watching the Saints match on Friday night.
We're bang smack on the halfway line now. It's Hull Kingston Rovers 4, Featherstone Rovers 2. We've played 31 minutes here at Craven Park. Kane, as predicted, has moved to scrum half, and here's Martin Wood now. Martin Wood, that's what we want from him. We want him to put players through gaps, and it nearly happened there. That's the sort of quality Martin Wood can bring to the side. Richie Hayes, he makes 5 metres. Looks as though Martin Wood's starting to operate things out there, Simon. He's calling for the ball, he's pointing people about. That's what we want to see.
So all it takes is one bloke who just delays that second so he can put a player through. It's all about making gaps. Anyway, pass out to David Luckwell, and he powers in for another 5 yards. He'll take 2-3 players to stop this man. Dixon, pass the ball out to Kane, out to Wilkins. Wilkinson shows a fantastic ball to Bobby Everett, but just out up inches short of the line. Wilkins looking for a quick play of the ball, passing out, looked to be offside by the play, but made offside, and a kick far too long from Mark Kane. Got a bit excited there, put a punt in, and far too long, but some good attacking play by Rovers.
Yeah, there was a definite chance there for Bobby to go over in the corner, but credit to Featherstone, the defence managed to get across and bring him down. He must have been, I don't know, inches short of the line, and as Simon said, Rovers failing to capitalise on that fifth and last tackle. Should have just been a bit more of a cool head there by the Rovers player, but as it is, Featherstone Rovers have managed to bring the ball up to the halfway line. The ball's gone loose and it's lost in the tackle, says the touch judge, and referee Nicholson wipes the tackle count clean. Richie Hayes now, he runs straight into Dickens, and Dickens has come back for more. Dave Luckwell brought down by Robin Jowett, another Featherstone substitution. Here's Martin Wood now. Martin Wood. Oh, there's a great dummy by Andy Smith. He's got Bobby Everett with him, and Bobby Everett has gone underneath the post, and it's the first try of the game for Hull Kingston Rovers. And who was the man instigating it? It was Martin Wood, and a superb dummy by Andy Smith. Once Smith had sold the dummy and Featherstone bought it, there was only one result, try Robbins.
I've been saying all season, Rob, what have been after a general? It looks like we've found him in the shape of Martin Wood, one of the best players in the NFP, and we're very lucky to sign him, aren't we? In if it's for 4 weeks.
Yeah, when I saw that he'd signed for the Robins, I couldn't believe it. Usually, well, I was surprised that he actually went up to Workington with him playing for like Keighley and Sheffield. I thought he was like West or South Yorkshire based, but he's decided to come across to us, and if these early signs are going to, you know, if he's going to play like this, then we're happy to have him. Looks as though it's going to be Bobby Everett to add on the 2 with Dane Doré being off the field. Bobby strikes the ball through the post, and it's the Rovers of Hull 10, the Rovers of Featherstone 2.
And the conversion there for Hull Kingston Rovers, number 1, Bob Everett.
Yeah. This Martin Wood character is going to bring all the experience of being a player coach for nigh on a year at Workington with him into the job. So it's certainly a lot of help to Gary Wilkinson.
Yeah, great signing by Wilco. Richie Hayes runs the ball out from the kick. Featherstone are absolutely charging up at the play of the ball. Well, that's what we said earlier. We want a big bruiser on to knock Featherstone out the stride, and Luckwell just did that. Great ball from Martin Wood. Puts Fetto into a bit of space. I do believe Fetto and Martin Wood was both in the Eagles 17 that beat Wigan at Wembley in, was it 98, 99? Anyhow, play goes on. Matt Kane's brought in John Wilkins, and John Wilkins has brought the play into the Featherstone half. It's the fifth and last, it's with Wood. He dinks the ball over, it bounces. Oh, unfortunate. It was a delay by Nathan Graham. Andy Smith went for the ball, but knocked the ball on. But once again, Martin Wood is making things happen for this Hull Kingston Rovers side.
We've all said it, we've got the base of a good side. It's out there. We just needed somebody to put it all together. Let's hope it carries on.
Here come Featherstone now, and that was a big hit there by Richie Hayes. Featherstone player certainly felt that. Did kneel low, and Rovers are starting to get into the Featherstone faces now, and one or two of these Featherstone players know that they're in a game. Tackled by Martin Wood there. We're about 6 to 7 metres inside the Featherstone half. Here comes the runner, it's big Robin Jowett. Was that the Robin Jowett who used to play for Bradford Bulls, Simon? Well, there was a Jowett, or was that Warren Jowett?
I think it's Warren Jowett actually, right?
Quite possibly related. You do get a lot of brothers playing rugby league. Play goes on now, it's with Agar, who we've not seen a lot of still, but that's an absolute monster of a kick. Oh, and that's superbly took by Bobby Everett. I was watching him then, and his eyes never left the ball. And for any young kids watching, as David Doyle Davidson would say, that's the way to play the game. It's going to be Fettu at the play of the ball. He's on to Martin Wood. Martin Wood's got Richie Hayes. Richie Hayes never shakes his responsibilities, does the hard graft. Dixon now to Kane. Kane on to John Wilkin. John Wilkin unfortunately losing his footing. We're 30 metres out from the Robins line. Nick Pinkney, oh, there could be a penalty there. Nick Pinkney done for crossing. He knew it straight away, didn't Nick Pinkney? It's a bad error. Only about 2.5 minutes of the half left, Simon, and we've put Featherstone in a good attacking position here.
We have, but the whole complexion of the Rovers team has changed since this Martin Wood came on, hasn't it? Doesn't he remind you of Wayne Parker? Yeah, but like I say, Featherstone had a good chance to get another 2 points, bring it within 6 points with the half-time coming up. Maybe a daft error by Nick Pinkney, but just trying to make a break.
Well, you think Martin Wood looks like Wayne Parker, I think he looks a bit like Mini-Me, but I'm not going to tell him. Featherstone probably realising that it's close to half-time, we're just going to try and tag on these 2 points through the boot of Jamie Rooney, and that will reduce the Rovers' lead down to 4 if he's successful. Looks good. And yeah, it's just slid in there alongside the left-hand post. And there's a lesson to be learned there. You give this guy Rooney penalties and he'll bang them over. So, I mean, although Rovers are playing quite well, it's only 10-4 and it's all to play for, Simon.
I'll tell you what the big question is coming up to half-time, Rob, is will you get your hand in your pocket at the bar at half-time?
I don't know about that. It's going to be Bobby Everett to restart the game. Bobby kicks the ball deep. Nathan Graham collects and feeds on. Matt Schultz misses a tackle there, but once again Featherstone have just flung the ball out on the first tackle, and I can see Rovers snapping one of these loose balls up and scoring. Somewhere in the game it's going to happen. Forward shout the crowd from the pass by Bramall to Robin Jowett. Not too sure myself. Did you see one there, Simon?
No, I didn't see it myself. But I'll tell you what, Rovers players flying up in the tackle is really putting this Featherstone team under pressure. The likes of Rooney certainly don't like it. He likes to have a bit of space on the ball, but saying that was a good break there.
Yeah, credit to coach Gary Wilkinson. Obviously studied Featherstone, played against this side, coached against this side rather many a time, and he knows that if you let the likes of Agar and Rooney dictate play, then you're going to be in trouble. So you've got to get in the faces and rough them up a bit. Good covering by Andy Smith there. Oh, but I think he's took a knock there is Andy Smith. I think he caught the ball awkwardly, and when he shrugged the first tackle off, I think he was injured then. And Nathan Graham just made things worse by absolutely ploughing into him.
Yeah, it looks a bit of a flop, didn't it, with the elbow coming in. I think Andy Smith's staying down, hoping to get the penalty. He looks all right. Once he's got... Well, actually, it might be coming off. It looks like he's got a bit of a cut.
Yeah, Andy Smith, the last thing he needs is injuries after the season he's had. But what it does mean for the Robins is that the man's coming on. Who is it, Simon?
Paul Fletcher.
Play goes on now. Richie Hayes takes the tackle. Craig Booth, who's on for Featherstone Rovers, and fellow substitute Robin Jowett. Big Dave Luckwell. Well, there's a half-time hooter, crept up on us a bit unexpectedly there, but as things stand, half-time here at Craven Park. Hulkingston Rovers in the lead by 10 points to 4, and if we can get this Martin Wood on the ball, link him up with Wilkin and Kane, then I think we could be in business here, Simon.
Yeah, I think that was certainly the shortest half Paul Fletcher's ever had, don't you think? I think it was about 4.5 seconds.
Half time at Craven Park. Hulkingston Rovers 10, Featherstone Rovers 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your attention please, a warm welcome to the Shooting Stars. And a big thank you there to the Shooting Stars.
Players are out for the start of the second half here at Craven Park with that half-time score. Hull Kingston Rovers 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. There was an absolute downpour at half-time, but it's still very warm and humid, and the sun's still shining. And hopefully the Robins can play some sunshine football. As Luckwell takes the ball up now. Dixon looks right and switches it left to Big Paul Fletcher. And Big Paul Fletcher's in there. Oh, there was half a break from Fletcher. He had Bobby Everett absolutely steaming up on his inside. Kane now. Kane slipped the ball inside there, but unfortunately number 12 Matt Schultz couldn't evade the tacklers from Featherstone. It's the fifth and last. The ball's with Martin Wood. Martin Wood puts the ball high, safely collected by the Featherstone defender, left winger Matt Bramald. What do you think coach Gary Wilkinson will have said to the Robins at half-time, Simon?
Well, a bit more of the same, I think. He must be pleased with the tackling stint that Rovers have put in. Featherstone have hardly put any pressure on our line at all. And since the introduction, obviously, Martin Wood, their attacking's gone up, so I can't see anything else but Rovers winning this game now.
I'll tell you what else has gone up, my fitness levels since we had to run back from the bar every half-time. Well, there was half a chance there for Jim Carlton, another substitution from Featherstone. Rooney, just lazy action, pumps the ball deep, but I think that's going to run out of play. Yeah, Bobby Everett just puts the finishing touch to it.
Ain't your fitness level, Rob, it's just because your pocket was lighter for once.
Yeah, when my kids are asking for goodies later and I can't afford to buy them, I'll send them in your direction. There's Big Paul Fletcher now. We had Alex Godfrey, but was unable to slip the ball due to a good tackle from Paul Darley. Richie Hayes still going strong, is Richie Hayes. Someone's lost the boot. Dixon onto Luckwell. Luckwell, that was a meeting of the big men there, Luckwell and Robin Jowett. Here's Martin Wood now. He slings the ball wide to Fetul Taiwa. Looking once or twice he's looked towards Fetul. Obviously the fact that he's played with him before, something to do with that. Well, that was unlucky. It was perfectly weighted. It could have bounced behind the defender, but as it is, it's turned into a mini counter-attack for Featherstone Rovers. Nathan Graham bringing the ball out. It's midway between the 20 and 30 metre mark in the Featherstone half. Dixon brought down Paul Darley, and as play goes on with Robin Jowett, he's a big lad, but he didn't look interested then, did he, Simon?
No, he didn't. He don't really want to know, does he? He's one of the Featherstone players running in, but he's running sideways. He's not really too keen. He's facing some tough defenders. Like a forward pass there to...
Yeah, the crowd shouted forward as Neil Lowe collected that ball, and once again, I'd be interested to see this penalty count, Simon, because it looks as though he's at least 2 or 3 to 1 in Featherstone Rovers' favour.
It seems like that, doesn't it? It seems a little bit uneven, but it's just the way he's seeing it, isn't he? Apparently there's been a change of referee. It's actually Ian Smith who was referee today. We were informed at half-time.
Well, apologies to everybody. The post-match announcement said it was Mr. Nicholson, but now that you've pointed it out, Simon, yeah, it is Ian Smith. Here's Featherstone now in a promising attacking position. Oh, and that look forward from Rooney. Come on, linesman, get your eyes open. Rovers now under pressure. It's with number 16, Craig Booth. He's been with the Featherstone side for several years as Booth. It's moved left by Featherstone. There's a chance now. It looked as though it was forward, but the winger Bramall's gone in the corner. And Ian Smith, the referee, has given the try, and Featherstone have hit straight back after half-time. Rovers was stretched on the far side. It just went through the hands quickly from Featherstone Rovers, and Matt Bramall had the simple task of diving in at the corner, but I think that last pass was forward myself.
It was a good try though, wasn't it? It was good quick hands. Just beat Pinckney on the outside really. He was clinging to that touch line, went flying down. Maybe was a touch forward and made certainly a spectacular dive into the corner to score the try.
Yeah, and that's brought Featherstone right back into this game now. We've played only 5 minutes of the second half, and Featherstone Rovers only trailing by 2 points now, and with this guy kicking goals, even though it's out on the touchline, there's a good chance that the scores are going to be level pegging in a few moments. Rovers substitutes limbering up on the touchline. Looks as though it's going to be a double substitution as the kick comes in from Rooney. Oh, and he's hit the post, would you believe it, right from the touchline, and it didn't even struggle to get there. That would have been a great kick, but relief for the Rovers. They've held on to the lead, and it's a shot across the bows. And the Rovers water carrier has just become a Craven Park legend. Tripped over an imaginary blade of grass. Bobby restarts the game. Rovers, they need to get back to that in-your-face defence that they were showing just before half-time. Significant about the Featherstone try, Simon, is that the ball went through the hands of Rooney and Agar, and it resulted in a try in the corner.
It's about the first time they both touched it and they hadn't cocked it up, really, isn't it? It shows the danger of these two half-backs. So, the linesman's coming on here. I think he may have picked him up, hands between the legs, which is an illegal tackle in rugby league. We'll wait to see what they say.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, I think this Neil Lowe's trying to referee this game, because the touch judge and referee wasn't doing anything until Lowe made a song and dance about it, and then all of a sudden, Featherstone Rovers get the penalty. And now play goes on. Featherstone have pumped the ball into touch. It's going to be play restarted on the halfway line. Danny Sale feeds the ball onto Robin Jowett, and once again, no wonder he's not looking forward to getting the ball, because he just got absolutely mullered, did Robin Jowett then. It's Sale. Sale looks as though he's moved to the scrum hooker position, sorry. And this is a test for Rovers now, because if Featherstone's going front here, where our backs are really up against the wall.
I'll tell you what, their game suddenly took off, hasn't it? As Rooney's starting to pick his speed up, he's really starting to run the show. He's out to Agar, a good pass out to Dickens. Didn't make a lot of yards though. Sorry, Neil Lowe. Well wrapped up by Martin Wood and Paul Fletcher. The ball out to Craig Both, but again well wrapped up, and it's on the last tackle already. We'll see what Agar can do with this. Big eye up and under, but Rooney looks miles offside, but well wrapped up anyway by Linton Stott, and just stopped in front of his own line. With a good clearing run here by Bobby Everett, makes 5-10 yards. Crowd are screaming for offside. Linton Stott picking it up, running, makes another 7-8 yards. Quick play of the ball. Nick Pinckney taking it up 10 yards. And Dixon with a reverse pass to Chris Showes, goes flying on. It's good 15 yards. And 40-20 attempt looks to be a little bit too high. Well taken by the winger Jamie Stokes. But he's equally well wrapped up by a joint tackle from Fetto and Chris Showes.
Yeah, Nathan Graham's with the ball now for Featherstone Rovers, and this is developing into a really good game now. Featherstone, as Simon said, have significantly upped their game since half-time, and it's up to the Robins to respond now. We need to get the ball in the hands of Martin Wood and Matt Kane, and Chris Charles now that is on the park, and we really need to put Featherstone in the place, because the further this goes, the more confident they're going to get and the harder it's going to become. Danny Sale to Agar for his partner in crime, and that's just the type of error that they was making in the first half. It was a low pass, it was difficult to take, and it was a dreadful pass, to be honest, wasn't it, Simon?
It was just bloody awful, wasn't it, really? I mean, criminal, really. A number 6 to a number 7 should not be making passes like that. And in a promising position for Featherstone, whereas now they put themselves back under pressure again. A scrum down to OKR with 42 yards from the Featherstone line. It's Nick Kane to put it in.
Yeah, the ball comes out now. It's with Martin Wood. Martin Wood onto Fettel Tower. Fettel Tower inside, so Alex Godfrey. He's met by Chris Spare, who's not really had much of a game for Featherstone, and Chris Spare. And Richard Agar moving out wide in defence. Dixon now. Dixon's got runners. Oh, and unfortunately, the first runner slipped. Matt Kane now inside to Chris Charles. Chris Charles to Bobby Everett. Bobby Everett through half a gap past the first defender. He's brought down only 8 metres from the Featherstone line. It's with Martin Wood. Martin Wood kicks it and the ball's... Oh! Well, Featherstone made a right hash of that. The first defender swiped at it and missed. The second one missed. And had a Rovers player been following through significantly, they would have just had to drop on the ball. Eventually they managed to scramble the ball dead.
Yeah, somehow one of the Featherstone players must have got a foot to it because he's gone dead, but as far as I can see, they all took a swipe and missed. They're playing like Hull City.
Well, we won't go into slagging Hull City off, we'll leave that to the black and whites. Anyhow, play goes on. Matt Kane, it's in centre field. Big hit there by Robin Jowett. Dixon, he moves the ball left. Richard Wilson's back on the field. He takes the ball 20 metres from the Featherstone Rovers line now. Dixon moves the ball right. It's gone through Kane's hands, through Charles' hands, through Linton Stott's hands to Nick Pinkney. And unfortunately, Nick Pinkney, he slung the ball back inside to Linton Stott, but he had a foot in touch. And a chance there for the Robins, but good defence by Featherstone and unlucky Ilkeston Rovers.
Yeah, it's good quick hands that, wasn't it? And well thought of by Nick Pinkney to pass the ball back inside. Just got a foot into touch, but some good play. Anyway, scrum down Edinburgh to Featherstone with a long way to go to Rovers line. There's only 2 points in this very tight match here at Craven Park.
Yeah, we've played 12 minutes of the second half and it's still those 2 points separating the sides. Good tackle on Nathan Graham there by the Robins. Unfortunately, Jim Carwell, it was unfortunate at fair, and there's a fight now. Luckwell and Nathan Graham exchanging 1 or 2 punches. What happened was Nathan Graham released the ball to Jim Carlton. Jim Carlton knocked on Dave Luckwell, got Nathan Graham by the scruff of his neck, and Nathan Graham didn't like it. The net result will be that it'll be a scrum down to Rovers, and we've got chances here. Referee Smith sensibly calming the 2 players down, but it's up to Rovers now. Let's get the ball in the hands of this Wood and get Chris Charles on the ball. Fettel Tower. Oh, and that's a knock on by Featherstone. That should be a Rovers head and feed at the scrum once again. But Fettel didn't really have to release that pass, did he, Simon?
No, he was in 2 mans there, wasn't he? He was trying to draw both men and pass it through to Alex Godfrey for a simple walking, but never quite fell for the dummy, did he?
Yeah, Fettel was just running out of room and he decided to pass. Featherstone stuck the hand in. Unfortunately for Robins, it's another scrum down head and feed and a chance to put more pressure on. They switched it blind side to Fettel Tower. Dangerously close to the touchline, but play goes on. Godfrey to Kane, Kane to Luckwell. Oh, and Featherstone, they're looking for Luckwell now. I can see Luckwell and 1 or 2 Featherstone players getting involved in this game. Play moves on now. Kane to Wood. There's chances now. And there's a try! Bobby Everett! Martin Wood moved the ball out quickly. I think it was Matt Schultz or Andy Smith who slung the ball inside to Bobby Everett, and he used his power to go those last few yards. And it's Rovers' second try of the game, and it's Bobby Everett.
A great try there, wasn't it? Martin Wood taking the ball, giving a very quick pass out to a flying on to the ball, and then passed on to Bobby Everett, who went scorching over for a great try.
just what the doctor ordered after Featherstone had scored the first try of the second half. The Rovers have responded in kind, and the score is now Hull Kingston Rovers 14, Featherstone Rovers 8, with the conversion to come. And there's a familiar sight for the Rovers fans. Who's standing over the ball? It's captain Chris Charles. But as I was saying just before the try, Simon, things are getting a bit tasty between Luckwell and the Featherstone pack. Back into the old routine for Chris Charles. The extra two's added. It's Rovers 16, Featherstone 8. In terms of league position, Simon, this is an absolutely vital to get the win today, isn't it?
Yeah, we really confirm our top 5 position. It's really crucial when it comes to the playoffs at the end of the year, where you end up. Obviously, first and second's finished with, but we're certainly playing to get that third position.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to sort Lee and Doncaster out when they come to Craven Park. Rovers now, they've got the tails up, and Paul Fletcher, well, luckily for Featherstone, Neil Lowe was absolutely clinging on to Fletcher, clinging on a bit too long in the opinion of referee Mr. Smith, because he's penalised Featherstone. And Rovers, well, they're looking the team in the ascendancy now. They took the knock on the chin from Featherstone Rovers and they've hit back, and they're looking to reassert their authority now. Dixon, dummy run by Wood, long ball to Charles. Charles, he's got runners. First one's Linton Stott. Pinkney was on his outside. The tackle coming from Richard Newlove. The ball's now with Matt Schultz. Matt Schultz driving towards the post. Unfortunately, Matt Schultz losing the ball in the tackle. Gratefully jumped on by the Featherstone player, Richard Newlove. Featherstone now, they know that they've got to hit straight back. They've pumped the ball into touch. Danny Seal restarts. Craig Booth, well, he didn't look interested then either, did he? Craig Booth, Simon. I mean, him and Jowett, they're both big guys, but come on.
No, they seem to have lost a bit of that early fire, don't they? I think that try they just conceded has really took the wind out of the sails. But he's a player I've been quite impressed with, this Neil Lowe. He's been a bit dirty, but he's put some big runs in. Just avoided going to touch.
Yeah, there was driving Neil Lowe towards the post, the touchline, and he slung the ball in, and unfortunately Mike Dixon was on hand. They can't give Bramall that sort of room because he's a flyer. And it's still an entertaining game here at Craven Park. Featherstone, although they're behind on the scoreboard by 16-8, they're not chucking the towel in by any means. It's the fifth and last, the 30 metres out. Not such a good kick on this occasion from Featherstone, and Matt Kane collects. And I don't think I've ever seen Richard Agar have so poor a game. On this performance, I'm glad we didn't sign him, Simon.
Yeah, it was a great play for Jews. It's a 40-20 early chance at a kick here. But it's well picked up by Nathan Graham, who turns and looks to return the ball. Faced by 3 Rovers players. One of them, Chris Charles, comes to a good tackle.
Yeah, it was a thumping tackle from Chris Charles. And as I said earlier, not only was Martin Wood and Fetul Tyler in the Sheffield Eagles Cup winning side, but so was Nick Pinkney, and I do believe he scored a try. Yeah, and Simon thinks Linton Stott was as well. Play goes on now. Featherstone Rovers are 30 metres from their own try line. Danny Seal, he moves the ball. There was a high tackle there from Matthew Schultz, but he released the player, and Ian Smith was happy to let play go on. But it's with Rooney now. Rooney, well, he just panicked with that one. He put it straight down the throat of Alex Godfrey, and Alex Godfrey's made an easy 15 metres there. Martin Wood's at the play of the ball. He's on to the ever-willing Bobby Everett. Bobby Everett takes the ball up just inside the Hull Kingston Rovers half now. We're with Kane. Kane shows the ball. He had Matt Schultz on his outside, but he's forced to take the tackle of Neil Lowe. Dixon on to Richard Wilson. Richard Wilson. Agar up top. Paul Darley went low. Kane now. Chris Charles. Chris Charles is looking eager. Yeah. perhaps this injury, having a few weeks rest, might just recharge his batteries for the remainder of the season. Once again, Wood with a little dink through. Oh, and they've made a hash of that. Featherstone, and they was very, very fortunate to get away with that. Craig Booth. Fetul Taiwo now. Copybook tackling round the legs. Finished off by Linton Stott. On. Forward shouts the East Stand. Jim Carlton struggled to hang on to that ball. And Rovers, they've got this in-your-face defence going again, and things are starting to look good regarding this game for Hulkingston Rovers.
Yeah, I think Featherstone are starting to almost look like a beaten side. The run rate's gone down, the attacking's gone down. A lot of their heads are down, and a lot of them are looking tired.
Rooney once again thumps the ball deep. It's just going to trickle inside the touch and goal line. It's run out. That's good pace. Great pace by Nick Pinkney. Nick Pinkney's still going. He's offloaded to Chris Charles. Charles, he's got a man on his outside. It's Linton Stott, and the Robins are going to score. It's a tremendous try for the Robins. It all started the kick from Rooney. Rooney, he put the ball deep. Nick Pinkney showed scintillating pace. He passed on to Chris Charles. Chris Charles carried on the move 20 metres, offloaded to Linton Stott, and Linton Stott, he scorched down the touchline, and the Robins, well, Simon, take it away.
Well, what can you say? I mean, Nick Pinkney beat, 1, 2, 3, 4 players. Great pass out to Charlie, but Charlie fought before he passed. He took the man on, he drew the man, passed out to Linton Stott, who just had the pace to go 50 yards and scorching for a fantastic try. One of the best tries seen at OKR this year.
Yeah, when Coach Wilkinson sees the replay of that one, he'll be very proud of that try. Great praise showed by Pinkney, wasn't it? I mean, he's the same age as me, 31, you know, just still a youngster, like, but yeah, it showed him a clean pair of heels. In fact, I played against Nick Pinkney, Simon. Yes, I did. No, he played for Dockers. Chris Charles now with the attempted conversion. I think he scuffed that one. It was a bit like one of Simon's golf tee-offs, that one, I think. As it is, there's a bit of breathing space now between the Rovers of Hulkingston and the Rovers of Featherstone. 3 tries to 1 in favour of the Robins and 20 points to 8. And on come, well, it's our favourite player, is it Dickens? Is he reappearing? He's certainly limbering up on the touchline, Simon. As it is, Tonks has come back on. And I think Dickens is there shortly to follow. Look, well offloads to Alex Godfrey, and their Rovers, the tails are certainly up now. Paul Fletcher, it's an offside decision against Featherstone Rovers, and a chance for Hulkingston to put more pressure now on this blue and white line. Bobby Everett's thumped that one downfield. That should take the play to about 20 metres from the Featherstone line. Big Dave Luckwell now. He goes steaming in. Richard Agar clinging onto his collar. They managed to bring the big fella down. Dixon onto Richard Wilson. Second tackle, driving towards the Featherstone Rovers line. Dixon now, he's got Wood outside of him. Wood, he passes on to Kane. Kane's running out of options slightly there, but Linton Stott almost made the break. It took a tackle from Danny Seal to bring Stott down. Kane's ran to the blind side. Good strength showed by Kane, but unfortunately more strength shown by the Featherstone defence. And on only the third tackle, they've managed to take him into touch. But when you've got a 12-point lead, that's not too bad a thing.
No, he tried something different, didn't he? If it had come off, it was a good move, but it just got dragged into touch. But it's still keeping pressure on Featherstone in their own half, with Rovers with a 12-point lead.
Scrum down, head and feet to Featherstone Rovers. If they're going to have any chance in this game, Featherstone Rovers, they really need to hit back immediately. We're in the 63rd minute of the game. Fetu Taiwa has been solid in defence all game as Fetu Taiwa. And that's great defence again shown by Luckwell and Fetu Taiwa. They brought down Neil Lowe. In fact, they drove him back 1 or 2 metres. Ian Tonks now. Simon was impressed by Tonks in the first half, and he's really going to have to get Featherstone going if they're going to get anything out of this game. And just as I say it, it's commentator's case again, because Featherstone have knocked on inside their own half again, and this is great for Hull Kingston, this, Simon.
Just some of the best tackling I've seen all year by Rovers. They're getting up so quick that the likes of Rooney, Agar are just having to make throw the ball out quick, and they're just making mistakes. Here we see Wilkins coming on in the third match. Schultz, who's put a strong effort in all match and a well-deserved rest.
Yeah, Matt Schultz and Andy Smith, they've done the graft. Solid, if not spectacular, but you need them types of players. It's a team game. It's not all about the speedsters and the ones with the flashy ball handling skills. Fetu Taiwa onto Martin Wood. Dixon dummied. Well, he didn't dummy, he ducked. The ball landed at the feet of Wilkins, and the play goes on with Linton Stott. Half a break from Linton Stott. Rovers deep inside Featherstone territory now. We're with Matt Kane. Oh, there was a high tackle there by Craig Booth. Play goes on. Martin Wood runs off. He's got Richard Wilson, and there was half a gap there for Richard Wilson. And Featherstone are really stretched at the moment. Dixon flings the ball back inside. And once again, Featherstone scrambling in defence. It's the fifth and last. It's with Wood. Wood's running out of time and space. He manages to get the kick through, and Nathan Graham's been nailed. Yeah, it's going to be a dropout, and the ball's once again going to be in the hands of the red and whites. Good pressure from Rovers.
And what a great kick that was. Just chipped it through, knew he had time to get there. Just left Featherstone with no chance of getting outside their own line, and it's a dropout. 6 more tackles to Rovers.
There could be 1 or 2 fireworks for these remaining 10-15 minutes or so, because prop forward Stuart Dickens has rejoined the game. It's Rovers now, 25 metres from the Featherstone line. It's with Luckwell. Big hit there from the aforementioned Dickens. Martin Wood onto Kane. Kane slings the ball out. Chris Charles out running wide. Takes the ball. We're about 9 metres from the Featherstone line. The ball's in the hand of John Wilkin. He needs support. Has to take the three-man Featherstone tackle. Charles now. Kane to Wood. Wood's got options. He brings in big Paul Fletcher. Fletcher's got men on his shoulder. Bobby Everett, well, he lost his footing as he collected the ball, otherwise he could have scooted over. It's the fifth and last. Taiwa to big Paul Fletcher, and the big man scores a try. There was only going to be one result there. Once he'd collected the ball, you do not stop Paul Fletcher from that range.
He's absolutely deadly from 2-3 yards, isn't he? We saw him do it a few times this year. Come off a short ball from Dicko, and he was over one-on-one. He'll always beat the man.
Transfer for Hull Kingston Rovers, number 16, Paul Fletcher. Sponsored by Trade Limited.
I think in years to come, when Paul Fletcher finally decides to hang up his boots, people are going to be talking about him for years in the same sort of way they talk about your Frank Fosters and these sort of players, Simon. I mean, these are players that we never saw play, and future generations, I'm sure they're going to hear about Paul Fletcher. Chris Charles is going to continue with the goal-kicking duties, and I think we're safe to say that this is 2 points heading into the coffers of Hull Kingston Rovers here at Craven Park, and it's been, well, if not a comfortable victory, it's been solid. The teamwork's been good, and I think they've played to a game plan today, Simon. Unfortunately, Chris Charles puts that one wide. It's still 24-8, but yeah, Simon there, I think they stuck to a game plan there, set up by Coach Wilkinson today.
Today's attendance at Craven Park is 1,674. 1,674. Thank you all for your support this afternoon.
Yeah, I think the absence of game plan, that game plan's been to put pressure on Agar and Rooney right from the off. Getting up quick, tackling quick. Featherstone haven't really stood a chance. Featherstone have tried their hardest, have done some rough tactics, but it's Rovers that are using the speed and guile of the like of Martin Wood and Kane to really tear through this Featherstone side.
It's a 40-20 attempt by Martin Wood. It's got chances. Oh, it's just drifted. Alex Godfrey's been tripped. Alex Godfrey was absolutely steaming after that ball, and I think Jamie Stokes tripped him. But as it is, the covering Nathan Graham has put the ball dead, and for the last 20 minutes it's been all Hull Kingston Rovers. So we're bullying them.
Yes, it's good to see, isn't it? I love the way this Martin Wood is just talking all the time. He's a real true general. Look, he's just pointing to players. He's telling players where to go. He's putting little kicks through. It's not rocket science, but it just keeps pressure on the other side.
Yeah, he's got what I'd call a rugby league brain, as Martin Wood. Here come the Robins again now. Dixon. I think Paul Darley was lining up Luckwell for about 5 seconds there before he got the ball. Anyhow, Charles, delayed ball onto Bobby Everett. Bobby's had a good game again today. Charles moves to the wide outside. The kick comes in. There's a chance for Featherstone now. Still going. I think it was Paul Darley, and it took a last-minute ankle tap to bring him down. Rather fortunate to the way they gathered the kick. Rovers just need to regroup now, get the defensive line back together. Featherstone not offering too much threat. It's Agar to Darley. Darley takes the tackle, Paul Fletcher and Martin Wood. Seal plays the ball to the big guy, Tonks. Tonks is still going, that's good strength showed by Tonks. Chris Charles, John Wilkin bring him to ground. Here's Dickens now. This guy doesn't take a backward step to anyone, and Featherstone are only 12 metres from the Robins line. It's with Rooney. Rooney to Darley. Darley, Alex needs to put that dead, and he did just in the nick of time. Chris Spear was breathing down his neck. But how much do you think the loss of Richard Chapman affected Featherstone, Simon? He went off after 15 minutes.
Certainly took the fire away from him, didn't it, Rob? You're seeing a Featherstone side that have got a good forwards, but they don't seem to have much idea in the sort of the wings and the centres, which was different from a couple of times I played them this year. But the difference is the tackling's one hell of a lot better by Rovers here.
It was a powerful restart by the Robins, and Jim Carlton juggled it, not for the first time, but he's managed to bring the ball 30 metres or so from the Robins line. It's the big guy again, taking the ball in 20 metres from the Robins line now was Tonks. Wrong option from Danny Seal. Rovers, they won't want to concede another try. 24-8 against the Featherstone Rovers side is a good result in anyone's book. It's with Rooney. That's it, get hold of him, shout the crowd, and that's what they've done for the majority of the game. It's Tonks again, still going strong. Met by the sliding Robins defence, but he's still going forward. It's the fifth and last. Can Rovers resist this Featherstone attack? It's with Rooney predictably. He's onto Agar, he's got runners as Agar. He's put the ball onto Neil Lowe, and this is a try for Featherstone. And it's the second try of the game for Featherstone Rovers. And perhaps on Neil Lowe's personally has deserved the try, but disappointing for Rovers to concede on the fifth tackle.
Yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it? It was a good try though, wasn't it? It was a good pass out by, I think, Agar to put the player through, and Neil Lowe threw a dummy and went over. There wasn't a lot the players could do about it. I think it was a very popular try for a certain guy below me, Phil Lowe, who was sat in the stand, who I believe was his father.
Well, would you believe Rooney's missed the kick from near the posts? 24 points to Hull Kingston Rovers, 12 to Featherstone Rovers. We've played about 73 minutes of the match here at Craven Park. Referee Ian Smith signalling to the Robins, come on guys, let's get this game going again. It's been a good game. Let's give the fans what they want, good open rugby. And Bobby Everett's going to restart the game now for Hull Kingston Rovers. He pumps the ball deep towards the posts of Featherstone Rovers. It bounces and sits up kindly now. Neil Lowe, well, it was a slightly high tackle by Linton Stock, but Neil Lowe is not bothered, he plays the ball. Chris Charles has looked impressive coming on as a substitute, Simon. Just chance to get his fitness back up again.
Well, there's that, and there's the fact that Wilkins has been playing well in his shirt, so I think it's that old word competition that always does well in any team.
Yeah, we've got to keep hold of John Wilkins. There's talk of him signing a contract. There's talk of Super League clubs sniffing about after him. We hopefully want to see him in a red and white shirt here next season. And now then, Rovers, you've got about 6-7 minutes left. Let's not get sloppy. It's the fifth and last. They're running it again at Featherstone. Paul Darley, the ball's bounced up. Fettel's collected. And Fettel has to take the tackle from Jamie Stokes. Martin Wood now. Alex Godfrey comes in field, just relieving the pressure off the forwards. Good play, Alex Godfrey. Dixon's at the acting half-back. Onto one of the forwards now, Richard Wilson. Met, not surprisingly, by Stuart Dickens. And Big Paul Fletcher looks as though he's taken a bang on the head, which means Andy Smith's rejoining the game for the last 6 minutes or so. Here's Charles now. Charles. He's tackled by Darley. It's the fifth and last. We're about 38 metres from the Featherstone line. It's a big high bomb. It's spinning from Matt Kane. The pressure's on Nathan Graham, and Nathan Graham takes the ball cleanly. And Kane, the man who took the kick, brings him down. Darley brings the ball away. 2 tackles, Featherstone Rovers. Rovers with a good defensive line. And the ball's gone loose. Backwards says referee Smith. But it's a wasted tackle for Featherstone Rovers, and they're looking a tired side now with this Featherstone Rovers.
Yeah, they are. They're looking like they're accepting a defeat. I mean, they've just got to try. You think they'll be putting a bit of effort in, but it's hard to get through this Rovers defence. You need to spread it out wide, draw some men in, make some gaps, but otherwise there's no gaps.
Yeah, that was another half break by Tonks. Tonks and Dickens have got a good pair of rugged prop forwards there of Featherstone. Well, Nick Pinkney's let that one bounce, and it could have been troublesome. Linton Stock gets back, flips the ball inside to Bobby Everett. Crisis over with. Oh, and there was a big hit in there. I think it was Darley who just put a sly one in on Bobby Everett. Fettel Tywer now. Featherstone still putting these 1 or 2 big tackles in. Alex Godfrey. Alex, he's not had many chances today, but what he has done is he's made good yardage. Richard Wilson ducks in the tackle. It's the fifth and last. Rovers still not managed to get out their own half. Martin Wood's going to be put under pressure here. Gets the ball back to Bobby Everett, and Bobby kicks the ball towards touch, and that's a great kick from Bobby Everett. Don't think it was a 40-20, but it was a good pressure relieving kick. Well, the crowd's not happy. Did you think it was a 40-20, Simon?
No, neither did the ref. The linesman wasn't watching, was he? You can clearly see it hit the touch flag, which was well inside touch, which was well off the field, so wasn't really watching that one. But anyway, it's a scrum down to Featherstone, 22 yards, 22 yards from their own half.
Yeah, we've only 2.5 minutes or so left on the clock, and it's been a great victory for the Rovers. This will consolidate their position in the top 5, and hopefully 1 or 2 of the rivals challenging for these playoff positions may have slipped up along the way. There come Featherstone again with Ian Tonks. Ian Tonks, he's brought down just inside the Featherstone Rovers half. Rooney to Agar. Agar, well, he gave the ball to Neil Lowe. I don't think was expecting it. Neil Lowe slips it into Darley. Darley onto Chris Spare. Chris Spare He's passed to Jamie Stone. It's good play from Featherstone. They're managing to keep this ball alive, and had they managed just to move the ball across left end, they had men over, but as it is, it's the fifth and last. Rooney's put one of those big bombs in again. Bobby Everett takes the ball cleanly. Rooney was lucky not to be penalised then, because I thought he challenged Bobby while he was up in the air, but referee Smith sensibly letting play go on. There's not long on the clock, so let's just get on with it. Kane on to Richie Hayes now, who's come on for Paul Fletcher. Have they announced the man of the match, Simon? If not, who do you think gets the nod?
Well, they haven't announced the man of the match, no, but I think myself, obviously, I've talked about him a lot, but Martin Wood has certainly made a difference to this side in the attack. But there's also been some great performances by just about all the forwards. Well, the whole team, I would have said.
Yeah, I think Bobby Everett's in with a shout. He's been solid as Bobby, and that one's absolutely screwed off the side of Matt Kane's boot. But it's not at the end of the day, it's not a problem, because the final loot is gone, and it's 2 points safely in the bag for Hulkingston Rovers. On paper, this was going to be a tough